And welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for the Battery Insiders podcast here live, not too far from Shanghai in China at the CLNB conference from Shanghai Metals Markets. I'm very delighted to have Glenn with us today. Glenn is the Consul Commercial at the Philippine Trade and Investment Center from the Philippine government.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you also for the opportunity to share information about the Philippines.
Brilliant. Thank you. So let's maybe get right into it. What's the Philippines' vision, and how does the Philippines want to grow its battery industry?
I'd like to discuss this in the context of the nation's intent to move towards the new energy industries, starting with renewable energy, and then, of course, with the green mobility, talking about EVs, and then, of course, batteries, which will be an important part of this new ecosystem. In short, our interest is that we have something that we can offer for battery manufacturing, and that is the availability of abundant green metals such as nickel, copper, and cobalt. So the first in new energy, we are moving towards increasing the share of renewable energy in our energy mix. And an important part of that, especially when you have renewable energy, is to have battery energy storage systems that will ensure, the managing this electricity. And so that's where batteries come in. On mobility, we are also committed to really promote green mobility. Right now, we are opening up the Philippine market for tax and duty-free importation of electric vehicles. And a lot of these are coming from China. As you know, Chinese electric vehicle companies are also very aggressive. And in fact, they are in the Philippines now. In supporting the creation of this market and an ecosystem, what we have done for now is to remove the tariffs on electric vehicles and also on charging stations for the next 5 years. We hope that once the adoption of electric vehicles increases, then there is a scale that would hopefully make battery manufacturing a viable proposition. Lastly, on green metals for batteries, the Philippines is next to Indonesia, the second largest producer of nickel, for example. For now, we export to China about, and our exports of nickel to China accounts for about 60% of the requirement. What we are promoting now is that because there's still a lot of reserves available, we are encouraging partners not only from China, because we're talking to Americans, to Europeans, the Australians, the Canadians, the Japanese, and even Koreans to partner with us as we explore more, have more mining activity, and then hopefully do processing also in the Philippines, especially for precursor materials that can be used for battery. So that, in essence, is our vision for batteries, supporting our transformation for green energy and also for green mobility.
So all the way from the raw materials to the batteries, and then also the end use like EVs, you really want to have the full value chain.
Yes.
In the country. And just one quick thing, just to double check. So you mentioned there's no tariffs on EVs for the next 5 years?
Yes. Last year, we already reduced tariff on four-wheel vehicles. And then for charging stations, that one is for 5 years, but for charging stations, 8 years. But about 2 weeks ago, we also removed the tariffs for two-wheeled and three-wheeled e-vehicles. So now we're really opening up the market because we feel that that will make EVs more affordable to the population. And then, of course, then the charging stations have to come in and so on. So
That's from anywhere in the world. So everyone.
Yes.
So anybody now listening from around the world, I know there's a lot of companies out there producing these devices. I guess Philippines could be an attractive market, and especially now with this removed tariffs for the next 5 years. And maybe if you could share, but you already mentioned some of these recent policies, but are there any other policies we should know about which the government released for the battery industry or which are impacting the battery industry in the Philippines?
Yes. As we implement these programs, first for renewable energy and also for EVs, one of the things that the government did, and it really opened up a lot of interest, was to relax the foreign equity policy for renewable energy, especially for solar and wind. And in fact, because of that, last year, the biggest projects that came to the Philippines were in these sectors. Foreign companies, especially from Europe, have come to the Philippines. There were also we're talking to some Chinese companies because they're very strong also in equipment. And for the solar and for the wind farms, it makes sense for them to do some assembly near where the farms are. And it will also create opportunities for the port facilities that would service these farms. So that was, I think, a key policy that open up the sector for foreign investors. For manufacturing, we have now in place a incentive scheme that allows 100% for manufacturing. But for policy specific for green metals, there are now ongoing initiatives to simplify and streamline the procedures because, especially in the mining projects, the permitting process can take some time. So the government is very serious in simplifying this, in streamlining this, noting that we have to enable companies to move very quickly and do exploration and prepare for the mines in a shorter time. So those are the supporting policies that we have in place now.
Excellent. And then if you maybe go next, because maybe now some companies are curious. So if there's a company now who wants to invest in the Philippines, like first, what should they do? Who should they contact? And also maybe if you could provide a bit of a step-by-step, for our audience, how they should approach that.
Yes. My office is one of the about 30 Philippine trade and investment centers in key capitals in the world, particularly in the top countries where we have business. So most of the major countries in the world, and we have an office there called the Philippine Trade and Investment Center. Usually, for example, if it is in London, we have London at DTI. It's very similar to UK DTI, dti.gov.ph. Then, so we have these offices all over the world, and we are the first point of contact where people may inquire about opportunities in this sector. Once we know of this interest, we will link them with our Board of Investments back in the Philippines, who will handhold these companies as they do their due diligence. Later on, if they decide to go, our offices abroad can help them with the visas and then prepare an itinerary and help them organize a visit. We have a system in place where with us in the front line, we have a full team back in the Philippines who will support and assist investors as they indicate interest there.
Excellent. So there's a lot of touch points, which is really helpful. And then maybe also if we could kind of look a bit more on the industry, right? Like from in Philippines, is it more about looking at upstream right now? Or is it more downstream in the middle of it? And kind of what's the goal maybe for really creating this inclusive battery supply chain in your country?
I think the biggest work will be on where we think our biggest value proposition is in the green metals. Right now, while we are able to export already some processed, because there are two HPAL facilities ready in the Philippines, but a lot of our nickel production is still exported as ore. So we are working with the industry to develop a roadmap that will be useful also for investors. At the moment, there's a lot of initiative on introducing potential partners to companies who have access to the resources, so that then at least there are some engagements already. And we work also with many entities internationally, with the US, with EU, with Japan and Australia, to see how we can work together. No, we believe that many of these countries have the technology and also the market for our products. So we are very open, and our industry is also very open to partner with them.
Excellent. And maybe as a final question, what are some of your final thoughts about the battery industry and how the Philippine government can support this industry?
Yes. The Philippines is one of the most mineralized countries in the world. And I think it's about time that we really promote the development of this industry, not only for extracting the minerals, but also to really develop value adding so that our country will benefit, and that more people also will benefit, including the communities where they are. It may be our contribution to the global transformation for new energy. But we really want to be part of it. And so we would like to work with partners from all over the world who would like to in a way, access this resource that we have in the Philippines.
Fantastic. Now, Glenn, I really want to appreciate you and for spending the time with us and sharing some insights on the Philippines battery industry. And I also want to thank you all for listening to us, and also want to thank Shanghai Metals Markets to have us here at this exciting event. And yeah, if you're interested in more of these episodes, please go on batteryinsiders.com or follow us on YouTube or Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere you listen to your podcasts. And yeah, for now, Glenn, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Hopefully see
All
you
the
soon.
best. Yes.
Goodbye.
Thank you.